Stay tuned for La Onda Bajita.
Wherever you hear the drum, we shall liberate. You're listening to 4.1 and KPFB at 89.3 FM in Berkeley, with KFCF at 88.1 FM in Fresno, Califas. Yo soy el Gavilán Molina, cruising with La Onda Bajitas, Radio del Barrio Aztlán. Tonight, we're going to take back La Noche. Simón que yes. So open up your mentes to a truly unique experience in Radiolandia. We're a new vision, a new citizen, and a new world where many worlds are posible. Eso. So cruise with us as we take it from rock to revolution, to ritmo hasta la resistencia con la voz del pueblo del sol. Aquí no más, firme y más FM. We are La Onda Bajitas crew. We march, we protest, and we report. We are NPR Radio Comunitario, Órale, and we're coming at you live tonight from the mothership here in Basurclas, Norte Califas. Tonight, La Onda presents a special feature presentation of Aztlán Rising between 8 and 8:30 with Maya and Xochil, Las Comadres in the house. And from 8:30 to 9, we have Terra Alerta with La Brava and Tara, bringing you Earth Alert. From 9 to 9:30, Radio Venceremos al Norte, a special edition in Spanish of Triumphant Radio, coming at you from the FMLN of El Salvador, with Miguel Pérez. And at 9:30 to 10, we got Cruising with the Combs, with myself and my compadre, Mr. Chooch, bringing you the best in rolitas, cubos, and informes. So keep it right here nomás, 94.1 FM, 94.1 FM. We are KPFA, Free Speech Radio on your Pacifica network.
¿Qué pasaría si todos entendieran cuál es la realidad verdadera de cómo funciona este sistema? ¿Qué pasaría si los pueblos se organizaran? ¿Qué pasaría si la gente despertara? ¿Qué pasaría si nuestras voces valieran? ¿Qué pasaría si vivir valiera la pena?
Buenas noches, mi raza. You are now tuned in to La Onda Bajita here on this beautiful Friday evening, March 11th. This is your host, Maya Nayeli. And in the studio with us this evening is Sergio Magaña, coming from Mexico. He actually just arrived last night. So thank you so much for joining us, Sergio.
Oh, welcome. I would like to say hello to everyone in our ancestral language, Tintin Palin Panoltia Chikawatika. That's the ancient Nahuatl greeting from the men of knowledge that means that you call the Supreme Being to go through your life with dignity and with abundance.
Beautiful. Thank you. So, Sergio, can you give us a little bit of information about your work and why you're touring the United States right now? I know that you just came out with a book that you co-authored, 2012, The Path to Become a Quetzalcoatl.
Yeah, that's a new book that is just to go out. That will be my first book alone. The other one that I co-authored was Transforming Through 2012, that actually got like bestseller #1 here in America. It didn't get out in Mexico, but it's a shame. But
yeah, well,
but here,
maybe working towards Mexico.
Yeah.
And can you explain to our listeners what is the lineage of work that that you work in, or what is the lineage of knowledge that you're teaching?
Okay. I have been studying with the keepers of the Mexica Toltec tradition for years. So that it's quite different what is taught really in Mexico than what it get out with literature of people really famous in the States or in Europe. So it's a very deep and profound tradition based on the mathematics, the most advanced calendar of the ancient past, and the language, the dances, that lots of people think that they are only folkloric, but no, they're the mathematics of the universe, dancings of healings, the lots of healing techniques about the breathing with the rhythm of the universe, all the ancient essences. So it's so deep, so beautiful, and I have been like many years studying with great keepers of the Nahuatl. Nahuatl was like the ancient language before the Spanish came, and that is the wisdom of the Teotihuacans, Toltecs, and the last ones were the Mexicas.
Beautiful. And I know that in that sense you would have a Nahuatl name.
Yeah, my Nahuatl name is Ocelocoyotl. That means ocelotl is like a kind of jaguar, a little jaguar. Coyotl is the coyote. But like the sixth sun that is just going to begin, it's a dark sun. Not dark in the sense of a bad sun. It will be like the night forces are the ones that are going to rule. The dreaming state, the things that are hidden for us. So to develop that state of consciousness of your inner view and all the things, those two animals are like the best for the new times.
Okay, and while we're on the theme of new times, I think it's important to acknowledge that that tomorrow is the Mexica New Year. And so you arriving and coming onto the show, I feel, is very serendipitous and says a lot for this time where things are starting to really connect pieces, and we're starting to build our networks and connect with a sense of consciousness that is very relevant to this transformative time. And because tomorrow is this new year, it's this new dawn, let's talk about what a changing of time means, and specifically why don't you give us a brief history on what the Mexica New Year is, what the aspects of the calendar, and then talk to us about what the relevance is now that it's tomorrow.
Okay, tomorrow it's the New Year's that is directly related to the Earth. So if you see just in like in the agricultural aspect, the other main celebration was the 2 of February, when you presented the seed. And then there were rituals to dancings and to that seed to be prepared to be planted tomorrow. So it goes with the cycles of the earth, what they observe, when to prepare the seed, when to plant, and then when to the plants grow and give their fruits in the summer and in August.
It was like a farmer's almanac.
Yeah, that's like the more physical aspect. But all of us are seeing like seeds so that you are renovating constantly. So the ceremonies were to present yourself like a seed in February. And for example, these 5 days were so important for us, for the Mexica tradition, because they divided the year in 18 groups of 20 days. So if you make the count, there are 360 days, so they are missing 5. They called the other 5 Nemontemi, that were the exact times, that was from this Monday to this Friday, to recapitulate what you did in the last cycle, to release all your heavy energy, and to make the rituals to create a new cycle for you, so that you can flower. Because in seeds it's different. For example, a gay plant seed doesn't have to release any heavy energy. She hasn't done any harm to the nature or to anyone. But like humans create too much bad energy. These 5 days were so important of releasing everything you don't want to repeat in the new cycle, and then so that you can plant your new seed, because we're planted on the earth, not with roots, but we are, unless you fly, that is not possible. You are in the earth, and we are sons and daughters of the earth. So tomorrow was like presenting and planting your new seed, so that you can develop. Because for us, for the ancient tradition, the concept of illumination was flowering, the flowering of your soul. So that's and actually it's the last glyph or drawing of the calendar, the Xochitl, that is the flower. So when you get all the way of the calendar, you arrive to the Xochitl, so that you can flower like a human being.
That's beautiful, and I just wanted to have a quick shout out to my co-producer, who's Xochitl, so Xochitl Moreno, who has a lot of then relevance to to this.
She's flowering.
Yes, she is flowering. So, yeah, we're talking about. I just want to acknowledge and thank you for your presence here and giving this knowledge to our listeners. Can you tell us, why do you feel it's important for you to continue the ancient knowledge and wisdom of the Toltec Mexica? Why do you feel it's important to continue on your path of illumination to bring this to others?
For me, it's really, really important because I have lived in Mexico all my life, and I heard something about that a teacher said that was an affirmation that is in my mind. He said that the Christian God went and raped the Tonantzin, the Mother Earth, and completely erased the culture. And that all the Mexicans were like a product of that fact. So everyone is denying what was before and only took what was after. So lots of people don't realize the greatness of the cultures that were there, only because of the pyramids and for the touristic, but not the culture, the wisdom. So I am dedicating my life so that people could see that what it came, it was good, but what it was before was great, so that you can integrate both things and be proud of who you are. I am very happy to be speaking now of that here, because lots of people had to leave Mexico, and they didn't know. They didn't know how deep was the knowledge, because it was erased. They didn't know that they had to do it, but the Spanish changed so many things in the chronicles. Now it's medical proof that it's impossible to make sacrifices how they say that they were done. So there were so much lies of what was before, and we have been carrying like Mexicans with that, with the denial of who we were, and lots of people try to be or American or European, and it's to recognize who we were and to integrate, and after that we will develop to the world one of the richest spiritual traditions that have ever existed. In our country was created the calendar, the most advanced calendar of the past times. Mm-hmm. We had a complete tradition of the awakening, of the sleeping, so many things, of the respect to the earth or to the elements. Mm-hmm. So many things that when you stop seeing them like philosophy and you get practical things, you make wonderful healings, transformations. Now I'm invited everywhere in the world, lots of places to teach, because they are seeing the greatness of what was before there, the Toltec and Mexica tradition.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of what's taught in the Toltec Mexica tradition is to really live up to your full potential. potential, no?
Yeah.
Okay, a lot of it is to have that realization of our full potential as beings on this earth. And you're talking a lot about this kind of disconnect that we've had from the earth. I think that it's important here on La Onda Bajita, where we do have a very significant focus on indigenous reemergence, re-identification, reestablishing those roots, because like you said, we're rooted in the earth. We're daughters and sons of the earth. So how important it is for us to find that grounding and to move forward on that path, no? So that it's not this disconnect that we're fighting against the earth, but we are children of the earth, and this is our mother, Pachamama, you know?
Tonantzin in Nahuatl,
Tonantzin.
Pachamama in Quechua.
Mm-hmm.
And and it's beautiful, and she gives us everything. So, for example, in the calendar, it's the perfect synchronicity between the cycles of the universe with the earth. We had like cosmic numbers and earth numbers. So because it was said, for example, they said that the perfect marriage was the one from Quetzalcoatl and the Tonantzin. That Quetzalcoatl in the cosmos was Venus, and that those energy to come. So we are like trying to do the perfect marriage in ourselves of the order, the cycles of the universe with the cycles of the earth. For example, the number of the earth is 4, and and in Nahuatl it's Nahui, and it means Nantli, that is mother, and it's the order. So if anything is going to exist in this planet, it has to be dreamt by the mother first. So it's the deep connection with the earth and with the universe, with its big cycles, and it's beautiful in the healings that we do and all the things. When you are going, you learn how to plant new seeds in your dreaming state, and how to give that dreamings to the earth, so that the earth dreams of yourself different, and then the earth gives it to you. Because we receive everything. If it's not in her order, it's impossible to be here. Mm-hmm. And people ignore that.
Yeah, and you can see the destructive path of where that has led us today. So, we're talking about the path that was walked by our ancestors and how closely they paid attention to the earth and how everything worked in sync because we were all one at that point. And then we started to have this shift, an industrial, mechanical, and very male-dominated shift that has led us down a very self-destructive path that we have been continuing. But I really feel like there is an awakening that is taking place, and I feel like it's an acceleration. So maybe you can talk to us a little bit about what the significance of 2012 is and what that cosmic shift means.
Yeah, this is very, very interesting. Before talking, I would like to say only one thing. In the Nahuatl tradition, they say they put which is the dream of the wind, for example, that is to blow everything and to have a clear sky. But they say which is the dream of the earth. And they said it's the humans that are made of corn. It's beautiful. So we are supposed to be the dreams of Mother Earth, and she loves us. The 2012, that's very interesting. The sons, like they are named because the 2012 is like the beginning, not exactly the beginning, because the cycles, the great cycles, when it's entering one, for example, sun. It first enters and the other one is ruling. Then they get into the same power, and then the one that is living lives quietly and leaves the other one to rule for thousands of years. One sun is a period of 6,625 years. So we are like getting out of the fifth sun, that was the sun of justice, it's named like that, and we are beginning the sixth sun. So in the 2012 they are going to have the same power, and the fifth sun is going to live quietly until it leaves the sixth sun to rule by itself. It will be in the 2021. What is going to be the shift? Lot. What is going to be the changes? Lots of them. For example, now we are in the end of the Son of the Justice. What does that mean? That the people that doesn't transform to the new order, that in the symbols of the Aztec calendar, where the dog. The dog that is its quintly Nahuatl symbol was the symbol of the fifth sun. So that what that did it meant that the rules of the man were dictated by the man. By man by themselves. But now it will be to the monkey, also Machtli. So the rules of the man are going to be dictated by nature. So it's a great transformation. So the ones that doesn't change and transform and integrate the harmony with nature, with the four elements, are going to suffer their cataclysm, their personal cataclysm or collective cataclysms, because you are not allowing the movement, the change to happen into you. So there are going to be great changes. And we are in a great time, because imagine it's the end of a period of 6,625 years.
Wow. In the Mexica or in the Aztec calendar.
Yeah, and it's very similar to the Mayan one, because both were based in Mixtec Zapotec calendar, that it's an older one. So they have similar accounts, and it's a great shift. It's a great shift in consciousness. We are going to develop a different relation with the elements. That the elements are not just outside; the elements are inside of us. So the great Tlokenawake, or reciprocity, that we are supposed to have with the elements, so that the transformation for human being would be easier in the ones that accept to transform their shadow, that is named the Black Tezcatlipoca.
Beautiful. Well, I know that you tour everywhere, all around the world.
Yeah, lots of people, lots of places. Sorry.
Yeah, and you have quite an extensive following. And for our listeners who have tuned in and are interested in what you're saying and learning more about the Toltec Mexica path, you're teaching a workshop this weekend. Can you talk to us a little bit about what the workshop is and where it's going to take place? The people who are listening and are interested can come to your workshop tomorrow and participate.
Tomorrow and on Sunday I will teach a workshop. It's a healing workshop, but it's based on the ancient tradition of the calendar, the movements. So it's to heal your ancestors, to heal your bloodline, to heal through your blood with the energy of the sun, diseases, to how to plant seeds to create different manifestations in the reality, how to use the power of the earth to heal yourself, and how to use the mathematics of the universe, everything based in the Aztec calendar, to heal yourself. And then there are some techniques that are amazing. For example, for us, the force of life and death is the same one. Not different like in the modern culture, that they seem opposite. So it was like it's named Coatlicue. So how to use like the force of the death to give spiritual death to sickness, to disease, to problems, addictions, and how to get to life with shamanic techniques. It's not named shamanic, but like something that so the people that have the idea to give to life the things you want. And tomorrow it's a very special day to do a workshop like this, because it's a new year. It's like planting a new seed. So if you learn how to break your shadow, how to overcome it, how to get to your son, your own son of your Quetzalcoatl, how to give death of the things that you don't want, and how to get life, the things you want, you are planting like a different destiny for yourself. So yeah, tomorrow I want to say I have been working in Mexico for many years. I have like more of 50,000 students, And I am very proud to be working in this ancient tradition, to be carrying it to lots of places of the world, and to see the extraordinary transformations that people that is touched by this philosophy have.
Absolutely, and thank you so much for doing the work that you do. If you are interested in attending the workshop, the contact information for it is www.shaman, spelled SHAMAN, -shack, spelled SHACK.net, and it's going to be taking place at the Rudramandi, am I pronouncing that right? Rudra Mandir Center in Berkeley, and it's from 9 until 6 tomorrow, and Sunday from 9:30 until 6:30. There's also a contact information. You can contact Linda at 415-302-9116. Again, that's 415-302-9116. I also wanted to inform our listeners that there are plenty of events that are going to be taking place tomorrow for Mexica New Year. One being a sunrise ceremony in San Jose that starts at 6 o'clock. The information, that's going to be at 14271 Story Road in San Jose. And if you wanted more information on that, it's www.nhu.edu. And here in the city, there's going to be from 10 a.m. until 4 p.m. different teach-ins and ceremonies that are taking place at City College Mission Campus on 21st and Valencia. More specifically, at noon, there will be a ceremony if you want to attend. Sergio, this is going to about wrap it up for our interview. Thank you so much for being on air. Is there any last words that you wanted to give our listeners in this time of transformation and right at the cusp of this very significant date of Mexica New Year?
I would like to say to the people that left Mexico that be proud of your roots. Don't forget that it was a great cultures, that the ones that were there. And for everyone, plant your seed different tomorrow. Make something special, because you are in this earth and you can flower different.
Beautiful. Xochitl.
Actually, like the concept of illumination was named Xochiponi. That means the fluorescence of the soul.
Flower sense of the soul. So on that note, we're going to wrap it up. Sergio, thank you so much for being on air with us, and to all our listeners, Happy New Year.
A pleasure. Happy New Year. Tlazocamati.
Buenas noches.
94.1 FM on your Free Speech Radio Network, Pacifica. Órale, yo soy Gavilán Molina. I'm here with Mr. Chuch, and the crew of La Onda is in the house, bien ocupados, busy, getting the shows ready y todo. Pero coming up next is Terra Alerta, and I just want to thank Maya and Xochitl and our guests esta noche for the segment on Aztlán Rising. And now coming up is Earth Alert, Terra Alerta with La Brava and Tara in a special production that Mr. Chuch put together.
Y muy buenas noches, aquí estamos en Radio.
Amigas y amigos.
Welcome to La Brava in the house with Tara. How are you doing tonight, Tara?
So good. You're tuned into La Onda Bajita, and it's so good to be here in the casa with you, Brava. I know you've been up north for a while, so it's wonderful to be back with you. And tonight we have a special report out from Kettleman City. You know, this Tuesday was International Women's Day. So we're really excited to talk with some women who have been organizing for a long time.
Llega lo mismo de los sin tierra y los indios derretados, los cholitos y el galo, ay, ay, ay.
also a huge toxic dump, and there's been a long time movement against it. And we're actually joined on the phone by Marisela Marez Alatorre from Green Action. She's in Kettleman City, and actually also she's joined with a mother and activist, Maria Salcedo. Marisela, welcome to La Onda Bajita.
Thank you.
Can you tell us a little bit about the high-level dump site in Kettleman City and how that toxic site has been a genesis for today's environmental justice movement?
We're home to chemical waste management, which is the largest toxic landfill west of the Mississippi. It's situated about 3 miles outside of town. We are on a major corridor, Interstate 5 and Highway 41, both of which have hundreds of trucks passing per day, shipping toxic waste to this facility. And not only are they the largest toxic waste facility, they're now in the process of expanding, almost triple their current size. We're very concerned. We've had a long history with this company. My parents were co-founders of an organization called People for Clean Air and Water of Kettleman City in the late 80s. That was funded when this same company tried to bring what would have been California's first toxic waste incinerator up to that site. It was defeated by the people in Kettleman City, but now we're facing our current fight, which is with the expansion. And what makes it so important to fight the expansion is that in a 14-month period between 2007 and 2008, 11 children born with birth defects. A lot of them were cleft palate, heart defects, brain syndrome. 3 of the children passed away. In 2009, early 2009, Governor Schwarzenegger called for an investigation after the groups in Kettleman City in the environmental justice movement started asking for an investigation because nobody was listening to us. We were saying, there's a problem. We actually found out about the birth defect cluster just by doing a house-to-house grassroots community health survey.
So you were actually canvassing in the community, going door to door, and started hearing the stories?
We had always said, we think the dump is making us sick. We think there's cancer. We think there's a lot of asthma, that kind of stuff. That's what we expected to find, but we were just floored when we started going door to door and we found out that there was actually a lot of children being born with birth defects, and, surprisingly, a lot of them were cleft palate. The normal rate for cleft palate is 1 palate for every 1,000 births, and we're a community of 1,500. So when you have 5 cleft palates within the span of 1 year, it's really cause for alarm. But our local officials, none of them were listening to us. We're actually an unincorporated area of Kings County, and our local board of supervisors, they just railroaded through the expansion project. It still needs 2 more permits, but locally it's already gone through what it needs to go through. They approved it because, of course, us being an unincorporated area, all of the tax revenue from that site goes to our county seat, not to our town.
So the expansion has been to actually triple the size of this toxic facility, has been approved at the local level despite discovering this, because I know that we had spoken a while back, and at that point the expansion was halted, and so since then it actually has progressed.
It was halted while the investigation was going on. Now that the investigation, it came out in November of 2010. Now that it's come out, they're just basically waiting on 2 more permits, and they will go ahead with it.
And what's the timeline for those permits?
We haven't been given one. We're still trying to get EPA, Department of Toxic Substance Control, to hold the permit. We still don't believe that it should be permitted because even though the investigation that was done, it came out in November 2010, even though it was inconclusive, and we don't think they tried very hard to look for any problems. There was no biomonitoring done. The investigation was basically just a series of questions asked to the parents. There was no blood test, no any kind of testing to see what toxics were in people's bodies. Even though the study was inconclusive, one thing that the report did say was that steps needed to be taken to reduce pollution because we were exposed to an extraordinary amount of sources of pollution. So we feel like if that's a recommendation, then permitting a gigantic toxic landfill is not reducing pollution at all. It's the opposite of reducing pollution.
Do the people who did the study, do they have any explanation for the fact that there are so many birth defects in such a small area?
Actually, the report, and one of the criticisms that we had of the report is that it worked more on trying to rule out certain issues as having caused the birth defects as opposed to really looking for a solution. And yet that was one of our points of contention, that initially Public Department of Health tried to blame the mother's lifestyle. They said, these women, they didn't take care of themselves, they didn't have prenatal care, they did drugs, they drank alcohol, maybe they were older moms. They tried to point out to everything before actually looking for an environmental cause. The only thing that these women had in common was the fact that they shared the same environment.
Marisela, you have with you right now Maria Salcedo, and she is one of the mothers who has gone through this tragedy and whose child was born with a cleft palate and who has passed away.
She lost her daughter, Ashley. She was born with cleft palate and heart defects, and she passed away.
I mean, first off, just our heart goes out to Maria Salcedo and her family. There's no deeper tragedy or sorrow for our family than to have to go through that. So we just really want to thank her for being here today, for bearing witness to this tragedy, and for letting our listeners, for having the courage to speak up and let people know about what's happening to the children in Kettleman City. Muchas gracias por llegar con nosotros esta noche. Lo siento mucho que han pasado a usted y su familia.
Estoy muy preocupada por todo lo que está pasando en la comunidad donde estamos viviendo. My name is Maria Salcedo, and yes, we're really worried about the things that have happened in the community where we're living.
Do the people who are responsible for this chemical dumping, are they offering any kind of compensation? Are they taking care of the medical needs of the children?
They are not. And actually, they've taken the report that was released in November as pretty much gospel now. If you go to their site, they'll link you to that report saying that how they've known all along that they would be absolved, that they're not responsible. One of the things that we do know is that the report left out the fact that they have been fined numerous times for not monitoring and not properly disposing of PCBs, which are known to cause cancer and birth defects. They also left out the fact that they accepted, and we found this out according to an article from the LA Times, that they illegally accepted radioactive waste, which is illegal in California. So they're pretty much absolving themselves of all responsibility. One thing that they have done is that they have started giving money for a prenatal care program to Kings County, but we again feel like this is just putting it back on the mothers, trying to say that they weren't careful enough, they didn't have enough care, they didn't try hard enough to take care of themselves when they were pregnant, when we know that that wasn't the case with these birth defects.
Marisela, if you could translate for us one other question for Maria. I think that she's come to this movement in the most devastating of ways, and my question to her is what keeps her luchando in this struggle, and also what is her message for other mothers, and how can people in California really support the families in Kettleman City?
Pues lo que me hace estar en todo esto es que yo tengo dos hijas más, una de 9 y una de 1 año y medio. Y no quiero que pasen lo mismo que yo pasé.
What really keeps me in this struggle is that I have two more daughters, a 9-year-old and a 1.5-year-old, and I don't want them to go through the same thing that I've gone through.
Quiero que la gente de esta área donde vivimos en Kettleman City no vuelva a pasar lo mismo que yo pasé. Quiero seguir apoyando a la gente hasta el final.
I want the people from this area to not have to go through the same thing that I've gone through, and I want people to fight until the end.
And Marisela, what can we do to help? What can listeners out there who are interested do in terms of getting involved in stopping, not just stopping the expansion, but actually closing the high-level dump in Kettleman City?
Well, one thing that would support us would be to talk to PA Region 9 Administrator Jared Blumenfield and let him know that it is unacceptable to permit the expansion of chemical waste management in Kettleman City as long as don't know what caused the birth defects for the children. We need a reduction in pollution. We're already in what's basically a toxic soup. We're surrounded by agricultural lands, some of which border the town and are actually our backyards where they spray pesticides. We have diesel truck emissions from the Interstate 5 and Highway 41. We currently have contaminated drinking water because our town well waters are contaminated with arsenic and benzene. Just last week, they permitted a 600-megawatt power plant in the neighboring town of Avenal, which is about 7 miles away from us. We feel like we're just really disproportionately affected by so many different sources of pollution, and people need to let the EPA know that this is not acceptable, that it is not acceptable to overburden the people of Kettleman City. On Tuesday, March 15th, we will be having vigil to remember the children that we lost, to remind people that even though a study came out and even though it was inconclusive, we're still mourning children in this town, and we don't want to forget them. And so we invite anybody to join us in the Kettleman City Park on March 15th at 5 p.m.
We're speaking with Marisela Mares Altores and Maria Saucedo, really in the heart of the environmental justice movement in Kettleman City, inviting all of you gente out there to come down and join them to mourn the loss of children who have been born with birth defects in Kettleman City at an alarming rate. And Marisela, if people want to get more information about the event coming up on March 14th, or if people want to get in touch with the EPA, where can they find you? Is there a website? How can people get involved?
The vigil is actually March 15th, Tuesday, March 15th. And if they'd like more information about it, they can call the Green Action Kings County line, which is area code 559-583-0800, area code 559-583-0800. And to get a hold of the EPA, they can go on the web and look up EPA.gov. You'll find links to email all of the administrators for our area. Let them know that the people of Kettleman City count and that you can't continue to dump disproportionately on one community.
Thank you so much. Once again, that phone number for Green Action in Kettleman City is area code 559-583-0800. 559-583-0800.
Maria and Marisela, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for your courage to speak up for the children and the families and really the tierra out in Kettleman City.
Thank you for having us. Gracias por su tiempo.
Gracias a ustedes. You are listening to the Tierra Alerta on La Onda Bajita. I'm Tara here with La Brava. And La Brava, you had an announcement for us and an action, a really important one, coming up, Hearst Castle.
Yes, we do. As people know, treaties are the supreme law of the land, but unfortunately, the Fort Laramie Treaty of 1851 and 1868 have been completely ignored. Turns out that the Hearst family has owned, or so they claim, part of the Black Hills in the form of the Homestake gold mine. And the Lakota people are demanding reparations and accountability for the illegal theft of the Black Hills and, of course, the ensuing pollution that the gold mining has done. So on Friday, March 25th, 2011, from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m., there's going to be action there. They're going to have a press conference at noon. And also on Saturday, March 26th, from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m., they are going to protest the illegal theft of the Black Hills, and they want people to be there with their drums and their signs in solidarity to protest that. They're going to meet at the Hearst Castle entrance, and that's 750 Hearst Castle Road in San Simeon. This is being organized by United Native Americans Incorporated. And if you want more information, I think there may be some carpooling to get down there. You might want to call area code 510-672-7187. That's 510-672-7187. Also, if you're online, you can check out Facebook. Look up United Native Americans Incorporated. Tonight in the studio, we have Dunn Egging from DQU. This year is the 40th anniversary of the founding of DQ University, and there will be a concert and a big, huge powwow So for those of you who aren't familiar with DQU, it is a Pan-American Indigenous University located just outside of Davis, California. The school is unique because it was founded on quote-unquote surplus federal land that was actually taken back and reclaimed by Native peoples in order to create an accredited 4-year university, something that offers culture and history and very, very much indigenous-based education. One of the founders was Jack Forbes. He was a professor at UC Davis, and it's really my great sorrow to let you know that Professor Forbes passed away peacefully at his home on February 22nd this year. Before he passed away, he did write a proposal outlining a plan to restore the university back to its 4-year credentialed status. DQU has gone through a lot of hard times, but the original dream is still there to have indigenous university for and by people of this land. And so right now we have Dunn. He's a member of the board of trustees of DQU, and he's going to let us really quick know what kind of events are coming up to celebrate this anniversary.
Our first event that's coming up that I want to let everyone know about is we're going to have a tree planting event with Common Vision, which is a traveling caravan that they're going to come and plant fruit trees with students, and that'll be a public event on March 20th. But on April 2nd and April 3rd is when we're celebrating our 40th anniversary, starting with a ceremony and concert. Saturday evening, there will be free camping. You can stay over the night, and then all day on Sunday will be our powwow. And this is going to be a very spiritual call to prayer powwow, because we really want to gather together the hearts and minds and all the healing energy. We want to heal the place, all the past wounds, and a lot of people have had dreams that have been dashed from DQ, and we want all the good dreams and the things to thrive there. We have new plantings. The trees are being planted. Like we said, we have raised bed gardens being put in. We now have new farm animals. We have some goats. We'll be getting chickens soon. So we're looking for volunteers for all those types of activities, making gardens, taking care of the animals. We need volunteers for the powwow. So anyone who wants to come out, again, it's April 3rd, the powwow itself. You can come out the night before on April 2nd, which is a Saturday, and camp out. Stay all day Sunday for the powwow. You can come out. We'll have intertribal dances. There will be Aztec dance groups. There will be Miwok dance groups, Pomo dance groups. A lot of local California tribes that are neighboring to DQ will be represented there. Yes, this is definitely an intertribal event, and everyone's welcome to participate. Real quick for our listeners, how can they get involved and get information? Do you have a contact number, or can you get information online? Oh, yes. Our website is dquniversity.org, so please visit dquniversity.org, and you can check us out that way. On Facebook, you can find our event pages for the DQ University 40th Anniversary Ceremony and Concert, or DQ University 40th Anniversary Big Time Powwow. So it's a big time powwow because the big time representing California Indian gatherings as well as the powwow traditions as well. Well, thank you so much for coming in tonight. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Yes,